One of my big hopes with the Fight for Good tour is to develop a deeper understanding of what poverty in America really looks like. Today was day 10 of the Fight for Good tour in Chicago, Illinois, and getting a chance to speak with some really talented, really incredible people at the Emergency Disaster Services Center in Elk Grove Village, Illinois, just outside of Chicago, really gave me another fresh perspective on the way we should look at poverty. And that is that any one of us, any one of you watching this video right now, could be in poverty tomorrow, could be in poverty later today. And what I found so impressive about this EDS center in Elk Grove Village is the depth at which they are prepared for any type of disaster. You know, I really had a great chance to pick the brain of Major David Dahlberg today. Spent several hours walking around the center, walking around the warehouse, just having real deep conversations about so many of the different experiences that he's seen firsthand over the years, not just in Chicago and in the Illinois area, but all around the country, and having communicated with disaster zones and with calamities all around the world. It was really apparent to me that the resources that are available in this Chicago area warehouse and the expertise that Major Dahlberg has are just, they're not just valuable resources to have, they're vital. Mayor Dahlberg explained to me how closely knit the Army in Chicago is tied with so many of the disaster preparedness services of the city of Chicago. There is an enormous amount of materials and supplies in storage at this center in Elk Grove Village. It was just stunning to see firsthand just how extensive the preparations are for what could happen in Chicago. I had a chance to work with super volunteer Donna, and the way that the staff there and Major Dahlberg described her to me, you know, she truly embodies what it means to do the most good and to give the most of yourself. You know, giving up to 40 hours a week of volunteer hours in so many different capacities there, working on the canteen, which was so impressive to see. Like, I know I rode a canteen last week in Des Moines, but the canteens today that I saw here in Chicago are prepared to serve thousands of people in a 24-hour period. Before we wrapped up for the day, I asked Major Dahlberg how he's able to shift his focus from a big picture mindset with millions of dollars of supplies lined up and to manage to the individuals who may walk in the door. Here's his response.
It's quite simple, and that's, you have the mindset that every individual matters. I'll never forget one time I was doing some crisis intervention with a woman who had faced a horrific experience in her life. She had lost her husband in a disaster-related situation. She was just overwhelmed by her losses. Her home had been destroyed. She didn't know what she was going to do with herself. And basically all I did was listen to her story. And some of that story I heard over and over again several times during that conversation. And when we departed, she left, and then she came back to me for a moment, and she said this. She said, "I just want you to know, during our time together, you made me feel like I was the only person in the world." And she said, "Thank you for that gift of listening to my need at that time." And what I gained from that experience was, it's not just what we're able to tangibly give to somebody that matters. It's listening to their story and not just hearing words, but listening to the depth of emotion and care and the significance of that reality and the impact that simply allowing a person to address the heart's need in their life is a special gift that's attributed to God.
Not only did it seem that the crew there in Chicago felt extremely prepared to respond to disasters of all types in and around Chicago, the Chicagoland area, and so on, but their planning on a regular basis includes unspeakable calamities.
Every day that this place doesn't move something out is a good day.
Yeah, I mean, when this is not an operation, that's a good thing for the Army, right? But I think the planning and the logistics that go into this, because if this didn't happen, and God forbid something did happen, we wouldn't be ready.
It's the sort of thing that you hope and pray never happens to any community, anywhere, but it very much felt like with all of the experiences that Major Dahlberg has seen in his decades of service, that the team in Chicago feels a responsibility to be prepared for literally anything. Anything. Today was a real stark reminder of the phrase, the Salvation Army, that the team there in Chicago feels it's their responsibility to be able to respond as soldiers do. And it was really reassuring from a human perspective to know that there are people who care so deeply about their community, about their country, and about humanity that are there for people in need, no matter who they are, where they are, or what their needs may be.